Good morning, everyone, or I guess afternoon now. Thank you for joining us for our Bachelor of Commerce session. This is our last session for Road to Registration Week. So if you haven't joined us before, my name is Sarah Chisholm. I'm an admissions counselor here at Mount A. And today we have with us 3 current students at Mount A, and I'll hand it off to Sarah to introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah. I'm going into my 4th year at Mount A. I'm doing a Bachelor of Commerce with a minor in photography, and I'm from Calgary, sorry.
Awesome, thanks Sarah. Lucy?
Hi everybody, I'm Lucy. I'm from Halifax, Nova Scotia. I'm going into my 3rd year at Mount A, and I'm doing a Bachelor of Arts with honors in economics and a minor in French.
Awesome, thanks Lucy. And Hunter?
Hi everyone, my name's Hunter. I'm going to my 3rd year as well. I'm from Ottawa, Ontario, and I'm doing a major in commerce and a double minor in psychology and philosophy.
Awesome, thanks Hunter. So before we begin, I just want to point everyone to our Q&A box, which you can find at the bottom of your screen. We recommend that students ask their questions through there, and then we'll be able to answer them as we go through. So we'll start with our questions in just a second. So our first question that our students have for you guys is, what is a course that you'd recommend someone to take at least one point in their degree, whether it's in their 1st year, 2nd year, 3rd year, so on?
I have one. It's I don't think it's offered this coming year. It just comes up every now and then, but it's an English course and it's called Literature, Science, and Technology. And I am not a huge fan of English, and it's not something that I thought I would ever take once I left high school. But this was a really interesting course where the works that you studied were all kind of related to science and a lot of biology stuff. But even coming from me, I'm not a science student, and I know a lot of people who took it who weren't in science, but I don't know a single person who wasn't interested in what we were doing and didn't really enjoy it. So that's probably my favorite class that I've done so far that completely came out of the blue and wasn't at all related to what I was studying, but I really liked it.
Awesome, thanks Lucy. Hunter?
Yeah, for distribution in my 1st year, I took a philosophy course and it was called Self, Society, and Freedom with Dr. Dryden. I find it a pretty good intro course. It's not too hard. A lot of students find that they get good grades in it, and everyone I've talked to was really interested in the subject matter. Plus, when I took it, if you're not into writing essays, we didn't have to write a single essay, which I know philosophy essays can take a long time, so that's definitely a bonus for 1st year students.
Awesome, thanks Hunter. And Sarah?
I would say most people probably at Mount A have taken the 1st year psychology classes. As being in commerce, I feel they're pretty valuable, even though it's something that's completely different from our degree. There's a lot of psychology when it comes down to business and all that kind of stuff. So I would definitely recommend one of the 1st year psychology classes, or both.
Awesome, thanks Sarah. So our next question is about commerce. So the student is wondering if they have to choose between marketing, accounting, finance in their 1st year, or will they have time to figure that out? Hunter?
Yeah, so the way that the commerce program works is you don't major in a specific area, you just have more of a focus. For example, my focus is in accounting, but your 1st year, you won't have tons of commerce courses. There'll be more of your distribution, and you'll get a lot of that done in your 1st year. Your 2nd year though, you'll take a lot of commerce courses. So you'll take marketing, organizational behavior, which is kind of management. You'll take accounting, and then there's spaces for a few others. So you don't have to worry about choosing. I didn't have to really narrow it down until 2nd semester of 2nd year. And even then you have wiggle room. Finance doesn't start till year 3 anyway. So if you're thinking about going more the accounting finance route, you don't have to figure that out right away, and don't pressure yourself to figure it out right away, because lots of people may come in thinking, okay, yeah, I'll do marketing. And then they figure out, actually, I'm really interested in management. So I would just leave that open and see which one you like the best.
Awesome, thanks Hunter. Sarah?
Yeah, as Hunter was kind of saying, you don't really have to choose right away, which is really nice. But also, you do have the opportunity to kind of take as many marketing, accounting, finance, organizational behavior courses as you would like. But if you decide early on that you do want to do marketing, because marketing is my major, so if you choose to do that, then you have the opportunity to take a ton of those courses at early on, like second, third year, you're able to do that. So that's also really nice.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. So this question is about economics. So this student is saying that they've never taken an economics course in high school and they're really worried about having to take the intro courses. What is it like to transition from high school to those kind of classes?
I'll kind of start with that one, I guess. So I had also never taken any econ in high school, and you'll find that the majority of people in the intro econ classes are seeing it for the first time, and that's completely okay. And a lot of people are worried. I know, like, going into my first year, the thing I was most worried about were my intro econ classes. And the thing that I find can get like overwhelm people a little is that you learn a lot of content, like not really in depth in those classes. So you kind of go through a lot of topics and you can kind of get overwhelmed, like you're missing stuff. I think the biggest thing to remember is that sometimes, like, you might get lost in the lectures and you might sit there for 20 minutes and feel like you don't understand what's going on. And that's okay, that happens to everybody. But if you take like even just a couple hours outside of class a week to go through your readings and go through your notes on your own time, you can definitely get a better handle on it because you're not like in that fast-paced lecture environment. So that's what I recommend doing. And there's also like so many people at Mount A have taken those intro econ classes because you need them for so many different things. So there are so many people who have been through them and can help you get through it too.
Awesome. Thanks, Lucy. Hunter, Sarah, do you have anything to add on to that?
Yeah, I would recommend, so in commerce, you have to take the intro microeconomics and intro macroeconomics. I would recommend, if you can fit it in your schedule, take, I think it's microeconomics with Dr. Craig Brett. He was one of my favorite professors. Unfortunately, I'm not taking any more economics courses, but honestly, I was thinking about it just to take more courses with him because he really makes the concept so easy to understand. And he brings in references from his farming days, which is really cool. His lectures are really interesting. So I would definitely, I mean, all the professors are really great, but I would definitely try to get a class with him.
Awesome. Thanks, Hunter. Sarah?
So going off of Craig Brett, I actually had him as well. And I only took the 2 economics courses that we needed, but I had never taken it before university either. And I was very nervous. It's not something that I was really strong in doing. And so I struggled a lot with it, but Craig Brett especially, I went to every single office hours every week in first year, and he sat down with me. It was right after class. He sat down with me and basically re-taught me everything that he did that whole day. So I would definitely recommend going into office hours as well if you have any struggles with any type of course. The profs are there to help you.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. So our next question is, I'm nervous about taking distribution courses outside of my area of study. What is it like to take those kind of courses if I'm used to taking, for example, a math course or like an arts course or something like that? Hunter?
I love distribution credits. I had never taken a philosophy or psychology class before university, and then I took one of each, and now I'm minoring in them. I think that a lot of people have had similar experiences where they kind of come in unsure about the distribution credits, and then they take the classes and really enjoy them, sometimes even more than their the courses that they have to take for their program. So I would definitely recommend finding courses that count as distribution credits and that you think you may be interested in, and maybe you'll minor in them. Some people take a psychology class and realize they want to do a double major. So I wouldn't worry too much. A lot of people come in with that kind of mindset where they're a bit nervous about it, but they're really fun.
Awesome. Thanks. Sarah?
Going off of Hunter's point, I think when it comes to distribution, you're not going to choose, there's so many options, so you're not going to choose a class that you're like not wanting to take it all because there's probably other classes that you're more interested in. So I wouldn't worry too much about that because, like I said, you're going to be taking classes that you're somewhat interested in.
Yeah, there are always so many options, and like kind of a more superficial thing that I find fun about distributions is that you get to take them with your friends who aren't in your program. And so you get classes with people that you otherwise would never have class with, and then you can also meet new people, which is fun too.
Awesome. Thanks, Lucy. Sort of to go off that as well, I want to echo one of the points of our panelists from our previous sessions. She was talking about how it's important to keep an open mind when you're picking your courses and that sort of thing, because you might go into a class and think, oh, I'm going to hate this so much, but like you'll find that it might be one of the most interesting classes that you'll take. Speaking from my experience in commerce, my distribution courses were 2 English classes and 2 religious studies classes. And before university, I would never think that I'd be taking English or religious studies, but they were like some of the classes that I probably learned the most in, just because it forces you to sort of think outside of like your general commerce mind and try and like look at things from a different perspective. So it's definitely a place where you're going to find that you're going to learn a lot of stuff, which is really cool. Our next question, changing gears a bit. So someone is wondering, what is the biggest difference between high school and university in school and in social life? Sarah?
I would say the biggest difference is the workload. As Lucy was mentioning before, you're in a class and you're taking in so much information at one time that you're not necessarily used to in high school. And you're probably in a lot bigger classes than what you're used to in high school as well. So I would say the workload and making sure that you're on top of all that kind of stuff.
Awesome, thanks, Sarah. Hunter or Lucy, do you guys want to add anything on to that?
Yeah, I'll just talk a little bit about kind of your schedule changes a lot, because one of the things that I was like looking forward to coming to university was only having like 2 or 3 classes a day, because I thought that was going to be way easier to manage than going like 8:30 to 3:30 or whatever you did in high school. But sometimes like you can fall into a trap where you think like you have these breaks and then you just kind of like get out of your groove a little bit. So for me, the way I've kind of worked through that is if I have a 2-hour break between classes, I try to keep up like my academic mindset and like do work or do some readings or get ahead for the next class in that time. Because sometimes like you'll have a class and you'll take a long break and you have a nap or you watch TV and then it's time to go to class again, but you've kind of like fallen, like it feels like your day is over. I know that happens to me all the time. I nap in between classes, but I find that it's better for your productivity if you like make your day, like your school day, like you used to, even though like it looks a little bit different. If that makes sense. That was kind of confusing.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, Lucy. Hunter, do you have anything to add on to that?
Yeah, just about your social life, just kind of echoing what has been said in previous sessions. You're going to be living with some of your best friends, which is great, and it's so much fun. I would definitely try to get involved in, I mean, everyone has their different interests, but try to get involved in the house events if you're in residence, because they're so fun. Even if you don't think you might be interested, you think you might not be interested in this certain event, maybe give it a go. You're going to meet some cool people, and I think it's really great that you get to hang out with your friends all the time. I mean, you should do schoolwork too, of course, but they're always there is my point. So
awesome. Thanks, Hunter. So our next question is, do you have any tips for organization for first year? Yeah, Hunter?
Yeah, so in first year, I went to the bookstore and I bought one of the whiteboard calendars. So it has on one side all the months and on the other side it's just 1 month, and you can write in all your due dates for the month. So I use that to stay on top of all my assignments, readings, tests, everything like that. I wrote all them in at the start of the semester. Once you get your syllabus, your syllabi, whatever the plural is of that, I wrote all the dates in because I knew that if I don't have it concrete written down or in my phone or something, I won't remember. I'm not the type of person that can just take in information and remember the dates. So I would definitely keep all of your dates in one place, all your due dates and your readings, everything, where it's easily accessible.
Awesome. Thanks, Hunter. Sarah, Lucy, have anything to add? Lucy?
I think, yeah, like Hunter said, it's really important to make sure you lay out all of those due dates at the beginning. Something I remember about first year is for like the first couple of weeks of classes, I remember feeling so disorganized all the time and feeling like I was always forgetting a million things. And that wasn't because I like tried to do my best to prepare, because I was a big planner person. I had everything written down, like post-it notes everywhere. But part of it is just the learning curve, and you have to like be kind to yourself and recognize that right away you're not going to jump into a perfect routine. It takes time. And once you get a little further into your classes, you're going to recognize like what things you need to do when, like how much you need to prepare in advance for a class and how much you can just take what's said in the lecture. So yeah, that's my biggest piece of advice, is just like take it slow at the beginning and try not to freak out. I was always like waking up in the middle of the night thinking I'd forgotten to do all my readings, but it's really not as big of a deal as you think. It takes time to figure out how the classes are going to work.
Awesome. Thanks, Lucy. Sarah, do you have anything to add?
No, I think they touched on all the points for sure.
Awesome. All right. So our next question is, as a commerce student, what kind of hands-on experience learning opportunities do you have? Yep, Sarah.
So going into fourth year, I've had a ton of experiences, especially in the marketing route that I'm taking. In almost all of my marketing classes, we don't have any tests or anything. It's mostly like cases and presentations and all that kind of stuff that's kind of hands-on. So you're not really like learning with a test, I guess. So I would say most of my courses in commerce, like I said, I'm going in the marketing route, so it's a little bit different than Hunter, who's in accounting. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. Hunter?
Just adding on to the cases, we have this amazing program called the Business Case Competition Team. I'm the incoming president, so if you have any questions, reach out to me, please. But it's a really great opportunity to get more hands-on experience outside of the classroom. Essentially, we have internal case competitions, and we also travel to other schools, and you work in teams to kind of build this case. Well, you're given this case, and you get to analyze it and present to a panel of judges. It provides you with amazing networking opportunities. A guy that was on my team actually got a job offer for the summer, like a great internship. So that, I'd say, I think a lot of commerce students should take advantage of that, because it really is, I think, the best way to get hands-on experience outside of the classroom.
Awesome. Thanks, Hunter. So we have another question here. So the student is wondering, how can they get these kind of internship opportunities? Is there anywhere specifically on campus that they can go? Hunter?
Yeah, I talk to them a lot. It's the Office of Experiential Learning and Career Development. I actually currently am doing an internship with them. It's an entrepreneurial internship that I applied for before school ended, and I had to do a couple presentations. They will help you with anything related to internships. We also have a job board on the website, but if you have any questions, speak with them. They're amazing. They'll help you with all of that, with job searches. If there's anything available through the school, they'll help you apply for that. And there's also resume help. You can have a one-on-one session, and someone from the office can really break down your resume and cover letter and help improve it. I know they did an amazing job with mine, and ever since I got mine, I went through it with the lady there, I've been a lot more successful with jobs, so I would definitely take advantage of that.
Awesome. Thanks, Hunter. Sarah, Lucy, do you have anything to add on to that? No? Okay, cool. So, oh, sorry. Yep.
No, I didn't have any.
No? Okay. All right. So our next question, changing gears a bit. So this student is wondering, what residence did everyone live in, and did you enjoy your time in residence? Yep, Lucy?
So I lived in Campbell Hall. So I think it's still the biggest residence on campus on North Side, and I lived there the past 2 years. I really enjoyed my residence experience. It's so nice because it gives you kind of a foolproof way to meet new people right from the very beginning. And it's nice that right from the start, like you have those people that you're going to go to the dining hall with or walk to class with. And even though like all the people you meet in orientation week and like the first month of school, a lot of them don't become your really close friends. Like it's nice that you have those connections. So like throughout your time at Mount A, you always like can say hi or wave, get a cup of coffee with somebody. And some of them probably will become your best friends too.
Awesome. Thanks, Lucy. Sarah?
So I lived in Harper Hall, which I believe is the third largest residence on campus, and it's on the north side. And yeah, I think when it comes down to residence, you have the opportunity to meet so many different types of people and a broad amount of people that are outside of your program. And you live with basically 100 like, of your best friends. So it was an amazing experience for me, and I lived in Harper for 2 years.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. Hunter, do you have anything to add?
No, I lived in Harper for 1 year. I loved it. I would definitely recommend living in residence for at least your first year, if not like your first 2 years.
Awesome. Thanks, Hunter. So as a follow-up question, the student is wondering, how difficult is it to find off-campus accommodations? Hunter?
Well, I lived off campus last year, and I'm living in the same apartment this upcoming year. If I go back. But you have to look early if you want to live with a certain group of people, especially in a house. You have to look early first few months, which is kind of crazy if you're looking for second year and you're in first year. But if you're really open with who you'd be living with, it's going into my second year. I think I found the people I was living with in my apartment a few months before school ended because I hadn't decided that I was going to live off campus. I didn't really know what was going on with that. There's a housing group chat that you can use. So it's not hard to find off-campus accommodations. It's just, it depends how picky you are, I guess.
Awesome. Thanks, Hunter. Sarah, Lucy, do you have anything to add to that? No? Okay, cool. So our next question, I will probably be directed towards Hunter, but what kind of accounting classes does Mount A offer, and is there a pathway to the CPA designation?
Yeah, that's actually what I'm looking to do. So in first year, I didn't have any accounting classes, but second year I had one each semester. This upcoming year, so I'm going into third year, and most of my classes are accounting related, and they're all my CPA designations. There is a path to take where you can get your CPA, your required courses for that. We also may have a club type situation where we're working with CPA Atlantic. We're trying to get that started for this upcoming year, but we'll see. But yeah, a lot of students going the accounting route are getting their CPA requirements, so that's not a problem at all. There's actually a poster that you can look at, and it gives you all of the requirements for the CPA designation and all of our course equivalents. So that's not a problem at all. It's really easy, actually.
Awesome. Sarah?
So I'm not going into the accounting route, but I do remember I did take the 2 second-year accounting classes, and I remember somebody part of CPA did come into our class and talk to us about the CPA designation. So they do a really good job of bringing people in and informing the students on what they need really early on. I think it was like first semester of second year, so that you have a handle on what courses that you need, just so you kind of know.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. So our next question is, what was your favorite course that you took at Mount A, and what made it so special? Lucy?
My favorite course I've taken so far, I took environmental economics last year, and it was with Dr. Brett, who we've already talked about and how he's so great. And I think if like not everybody in commerce will end up taking, it's a 3rd-year econ course, but I know like if you choose the econ route, you'll definitely be exposed to some of those courses. What's so great about them is that it's the first time you kind of stray away from taking just the theory-based econ courses and move to the applied ones. So it's really interesting because in that course at least, and I know that there are a lot of similar ones, you take all of the different like tools you learned from like your first year econs, and then you start using them to analyze real world problems. So we talked about like control and a bunch of different environmental issues and how the things we've learned in econ apply to them. It doesn't sound super exciting, but I promise it was really cool, and it was with a great professor. So definitely made me want to take more classes like that.
Awesome. Thanks, Lucy. Sarah?
So I would have to say my favorite class would have been this class that I just finished in April. It was called Marketing Communications. It was a marketing class, obviously, and the professor was like a part-time professor from Olden College in Moncton. And what was so great about it is he wasn't kind of like the regular professor who has done it their whole life and doesn't really have, not that they don't have like work experience outside of teaching, but Bruce Jones, his name is, he kind of had a different perspective on things and worked in the marketing world for like 30 years. So we did a lot of hands-on, like I had to run a focus group with people that I had never met before. And it was really like hands-on learning that you wouldn't get like at a bigger school or anything. So yeah, I would definitely say that was my favorite class.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. Hunter, do you have any favorite classes?
Yeah, my favorite class it's a 2nd-year ethics class that I took with Dr. Majithia. And I liked it because it was definitely more challenging than the previous philosophy classes I had taken. And it kind of blended contemporary and contemporary and traditional philosophy, which was really nice if you know anything about philosophy. Yeah, that was my favorite one for sure, and I would definitely recommend it if you might be interested in doing a minor in philosophy or anything like that.
Awesome. Thanks, Hunter. So our next question comes from Jordan, and they're wondering, what are the different types of classes that you can take in commerce? Sarah?
So the commerce, it depends on what kind of, if you're doing a BCom or like a Bachelor of Arts with a major in commerce. So it kind of depends, but coming from a BCom perspective, there's a lot of courses that are mandatory for your degree. So you have to take organizational behavior, you have to take accounting, you have to take marketing for 1 or 2 courses in order for you to understand like which course you like the best. So you do have to kind of take all of the specific courses in order to understand what you want to take. I think there's also like a mandatory finance course and all that kind of stuff.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. So our next question is, what is something that you didn't know before you went to university that you wish you did know going into it? Lucy?
I feel like one of the things that I wish I know is like how okay it is to not really have a plan. That's what Mount A is like perfect for people like me who don't really know what they want to do. Here, you don't have to declare your major until the end of your 2nd year, and you have so much time to figure out exactly what it is you want to do. I was doing my course registration yesterday, and I was looking, it took me forever to decide what my major was. And I was looking back, and I think only 3 of the 10 courses I took in first year are actually going to count for my degree. So I took so many different things because I was really just trying to narrow it down. And that like helped me and wasn't like a hindrance at all. And I just want people to know that like, if you take a bunch of courses and then end up completely like pulling a 180 and doing something else, it's completely fine, because I've done that probably 4 times and I'm still like on track with everything and going to finish on time. So it's really important to just keep that in mind.
Awesome. Thanks, Lucy. Sarah, Hunter, do you have anything to add on to that? No? Okay, cool. So our next question, changing gears a bit. So this person wants to know, is it difficult to balance school and sports or extracurricular activities? And how do you manage that? Hunter?
So it's all about good organizational and time management skills, which you need to be easy on yourself with because it is a change. And going into third year, I'm still constantly evolving how I schedule my time and everyone else is too. Even when you graduate, you're still going to be working on that and building on your skills. I think that for me, it's almost easier to balance my time and get things done when I do have a busier schedule and I am doing things that I enjoy, like extracurriculars and maybe sports and my classwork, because then I feel like I stay more focused and I'm enjoying myself, as opposed to if you're just doing the bare minimum, you might get bored, because a lot of people that come to Mount A, you're used to being super involved and taking pride in what you're doing. So I would say, yeah, it can be difficult at times, especially you're going to have some weeks, and we call them hell weeks, where you have 5 tests and you have like a paper and everything. And it may seem crazy, but just remember everyone's in the same boat and you're going to get through it. You're going to be okay. You might cry a couple times. It's okay. But like in the end, it's worth it and you're going to have a great time. So remember to have fun and also do your schoolwork, but have fun.
Awesome. Thanks, Hunter. Sarah, Lucy, do you have anything to add on to that? No? Okay, cool. So let's see what our next question is. Is it difficult to be a part of more than one extracurricular activity or sport? Lucy?
It can, like Hunter was saying, like with any extracurriculars, it can be hard. But I think one of the best things about Mount A is that you can like get involved in so many different things. I think it's partially because like we have such a small campus and everyone is always so involved, but I think it's so important to kind of diversify your interests, because then that's when you get to meet different people who have different interests. I'm on Right to Play, which is a club. I'm also a TA in the math department and the econ department. And through all those different things, like I've been with different groups of people, so I have different friends from each of those things. And yeah, at times it can be hard to balance everything, but it's definitely made my experience much more fun and much more fulfilling to do all those different things.
Thanks, Lucy. Sarah, Hunter, do you have anything to add on to that? No? Okay, cool. All right, so our next question is, I'm not sure what I want to minor in yet, but I know that I have interest in topics like biology, biochemistry. Is that something that I can do with a major in commerce? Sarah?
So I am in a Bachelor of Commerce with a minor in photography. So they're 2 completely different things. That's what's so great about Mount A, is you have the opportunity to take really wacky combinations of a degree. I'm actually the second person to ever minor in photography and the first to do commerce in photography ever. So you have the opportunity to do that, and it's not that hard. All you have to do is ask.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. Lucy or Hunter, do you have anything to add on to that? No? All right, awesome. So just the last call for some questions. It looks like we are going to be wrapping up soon. So if you have any questions that you've been wondering about but haven't asked yet, feel free to put them into the Q&A box and we'll be able to get to them for you. So this person's wondering, is there anything that I should avoid in first year? Or alternatively, do you have any tips to be proactive for first year? I can take a stab at this one because I've been in a position where I've thought I can do anything but was gravely proven wrong. Avoid skipping class in your first year. I think probably a lot of students can agree to that. You might think, oh, just one 50-minute lecture, I'm not going to miss a lot. But it is a very slippery slope where you're missing 1 class a week, and then you might be missing 2 classes a week. And then at the end of the semester, you realize, oh my gosh, I've missed like 16 lectures. So definitely make sure that you are attending all of your courses. Even if you just show up, chances are you're going to learn something that you would have completely missed if you didn't attend the class. So that's my tip for first year for sure. Yeah. And I think our last question here is, what is a course that you took, thought that you were going to absolutely hate it, but ended up really, really enjoying it? Lucy?
Econ, funnily enough. I was really worried about them. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I was initially planning on doing international relations, and the intro econ courses are required for that program. So I went into them like just as something I had to do and had to get through, and then it ended up becoming my major, and now almost every course I take is econ. So it just goes to show, like, any preconceived notions you have about a certain subject can just be completely gone by the time you take a course, which is really cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Lucy. Sarah or Hunter, anything to add on to that? Hunter?
Yeah, I didn't go in thinking I'd hate it, but I definitely didn't think that I would enjoy marketing as much as I did. I even considered switching my focus to marketing because I think there's a lot of value in it. So yeah, I'd say just keep an open mind when you're going into your classes, because a lot of the time, if you look at the description for the course, you may get kind of some ideas of what it might be about, and then you get there and it's completely different, and usually in a good way for sure. So.
Awesome. Thanks, Hunter. Sarah, any classes that you thought you were going to really not like, but ended up really liking them?
I would say it was probably the first year psychology classes that I took. I took Psych 1 in the first semester, and I was like, I'm just taking this as a distribution. Like, I don't like anything part of it at all. But then I realized I wanted to go into marketing, and it actually had a lot of value for me, and I actually quite enjoyed it. And I really liked science in high school, so Psych 1 was quite science-based, so I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. So it looks like we've come to the end of our questions, so we'll wrap up our session. First, I'd just like to say thank you to our 3 participants today, Sarah, Lucy, and Hunter, for joining us. Hopefully they were able to answer all of the questions that you guys have been wondering about. And I'd like to thank all of our participants this afternoon for joining us. If there was any questions that you didn't think of during the session but might think of after the session, feel free to forward it to us at admissions@mta.ca. Additionally, there is still an option to speak with the student ambassador via our Welcome to College platform. You can find that by going to our homepage, mta.ca. And if you scroll down, there's a little block that says chat with the student ambassador, and you can find different people to talk to through there. So I definitely recommend reaching out to them because they're a great resource. And this also marks the end of our Road to Registration week. So thank you to everyone who stuck along the ride with us. Hopefully we were able to give you some valuable information leading up to your course registration. All of our sessions have been recorded, so we will be posting them to our YouTube channel in the coming days, maybe by the end of next week. So keep an eye out for that. If there's any sessions that you might have missed or wanted to rewatch, you can do that as soon as they are posted. With everything said, I'd just like to say thanks again to everyone, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. See you later, guys.